There has been huge controversy among students and staff here in Fergus High. Due to the strange substance markings on our vehicles, some say it's paint, others say it's berries, but how do we know what it really is? We looked at it and initially thought it could have been paint. But when another officer watched it happen in person on the other side of town, we were convinced it was not paint, said Officer Jennis. On Friday, December 7th, students noticed colored spots along their vehicles, some worse than others, and some vehicles also had severe key marks. Instantly, students were panicked and infuriated. The substance got into the radiator of Drew McIntosh's vehicle, and other cars were simply blasted with the substance. Some students were very upset with how the situation was handled. And a few days later, another incident was reported to the local police. So could this really be paintballs, or is it legitimately berries? After talking with Officer Jennis, I learned a few new things. According to him, 90% of the spots were on top of the cars, and then I asked him, who do you think is responsible for this? He said cedar waxwings, which have been reported to eat berries and project their feces onto vehicles or anything in their path. He also told me that the amount of fluid is about something you would spit, and pictures show that the spots were nothing bigger than a quarter. So is it paintballs, or is it really berries? That's for you to decide. And next, a lighter subject about The Hobbit.
On December 14th, an adventure began. Trolls, wizards, orcs, and small men with hairy feet hit the big screen in a cinematic adaptation of J.R.R. Tolkien's 1937 novel, The Hobbit. This movie is titled The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey, and is the first in 3 movies that prequel the Lord of the Rings trilogy. This nearly 3-hour-long epic was also directed by Peter Jackson. It follows a quirky yet lovable hobbit named Bilbo Baggins, played by the English actor Martin Freeman. The wizard Gandalf recruits Baggins to help a band of dwarves led by Thorin Oakenshield save their kingdom. However, after the hobbit runs across an oh-so-precious ring, the real fairy tale begins. The critics have responded with mixed reviews. Most saying the film is eye-catching but longer than need be. An overlong adventure and living by wonder, stated the Wall Street Journal. The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey is now showing in theaters.
As you may have heard, the conflict in Syria is escalating. About 44,551 people have died in the Syrian civil war. The conflict could spill into neighboring countries as refugees continue to leave Syria. Over 408,000 registered refugees have flooded into the region, mostly into Turkey, Lebanon, Jordan, and Iraq. The Middle East is showing other signs of destabilization as well. Israel and Palestine have been in conflict since 1948, and the conflict continues today. Currently, the Gaza Strip is the big issue between both sides. These conflicts in the Middle East may cause more regional instability, which could lead to more and larger wars. If this exponential escalation continues, might we see the end of the world by the end of the week?
Hey, it's like holiday time, so Kwanzaa and Christmas and Hanukkah all going out at the same time, and all of those things mean eggnog. There's all the stuff that goes in eggnog, and I'll edit this part out because it's really bad. So eggnog is something people drink around Christmas time, and the ingredients for eggnog is whole milk or whipping cream because it's very thick, eggs, and nutmeg, and usually alcohol, but I'm underage. So none of that. This is eggnog. I hate it. Against my better judgment, I'm going to drink the eggnog. I really don't like this. Okay, eggnog history. Eggnog was invented in England. It's named because it has eggs in it, and it was named from, also they used to drink it in this little wooden cup called a noggin. So they had egg noggin, and finally shortened to eggnog. It's starting to grow on me, actually. It was very popular with rich people, because things like cream and eggs and nutmeg were things that only rich people could get. It became really popular because liquor is cheap, especially the kind of liquor that Americans could get from the Caribbean. The only way I could possibly see someone enjoying this is if you were drunk enough to think it was like Dr. Pepper or something. You know, and it caused a riot. That's what happened. That's why it's called the Eggnog Riot.
This was special. I'm gonna go get some lunch.
Oh god. This is heavy whipping cream. It gives eggnog its froth. It just tastes like cream. Ugh. Eggnog's not that bad, actually, compared to raw eggs and nutmeg. That's your history of eggnog. Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah. Goodbye.
Hello, I'm Ben Bruno talking about technology in 2017. How would you feel if your smartphone could help you detect rotten food in your refrigerator, or allow you to feel the texture of a new jacket before you buy it online? By 2017, technology will have advanced far enough that computers will be able to see, smell, touch, taste, and hear by digital taste buds, newly sensitive pixels, and other innovations. You'll even be able to touch someone through your phone, announced Bernie Meyerson, Vice President of Innovation at IBM. This year, the company looked to the next era of computing, which IBM called the era of cognitive system. A new generation of machines that will learn, adapt, sense, and experience the world as it really is. These computers will mimic the human sense in their own way. The phones will use a piezoelectric transducer, which are nearly invisible elements that could produce vibrations and sensations in the finger and could sense ammonia as it is released from food that goes bad. A computer could sense that better than a human could and give you real-time updates on the food in your fridge. Here's Michaela with the updates on the newest smartphone.
Apple recently announced its latest iPhone, the iPhone 5, which has had a number of upgrades over last year's iPhone 4S. The iPhone 5 features a new design over the 4S. It is significantly taller and measures 4.87 inches as opposed to 4.5 inches on the 4S. They are the same width. The iPhone 5 is also lighter than the 4S, weighing in at 112 grams as opposed to 140 grams. The main difference between the iPhones is the screen. The iPhone 4S features a 3.5-inch Retina display, while the iPhone 5 features a 4-inch Retina display with a greater screen resolution. So, if you're looking for an idea for a Christmas present, one of these iPhones could be it. And speaking of Christmas, Bryson has a lot to say about this joyful holiday, not only in the U.S., but in many other countries as well.
We all know how we celebrate Christmas here in America, but have you ever wondered how people do it in other countries? The Christmas tree as we know it originated in Germany. The trimming and lighting of the Christmas tree had its origin in pre-Christian Germany, symbolizing the Garden of Eden. In Italy, a 24-hour fast ends with an elaborate Christmas feast, then small presents are drawn from the Urn of Fate on December 25th. But January 6th is the day the main exchange of gifts takes place. Nearly every home in France sets up a nativity set. The Christmas tree has never been very popular in France, but they do a huge feast called La Rebellion. The exchange of gifts usually takes place on New Year's Day. In Sweden, it is said that on Christmas Eve, a certain Christmas gnome emerges from his home under the floor of the house. He carries a sack over his shoulder and leaves gifts for all. Here are some facts. Did you know that the average USA citizen spends an average of $520 on Christmas each year? The UK spends $474, Germany spends $270, Italy spends $325, and France spends about $366. We spend the most out of all those countries. The common Christmas sweet for the US is pumpkin cake. Germany makes large cookies made of honey called le bacon. Italy makes a type of sweet loaf bread called panote. France makes a sponge cake called bûche de Noël. Spain makes nugget, which is sugar, honey, and roasted nuts. And Sweden makes pepparkakor, which is a heart, star, and goat-shaped gingerbread biscuit. Hopefully we make it to Christmas this year. Here's Carly with more.
There is a new age belief that in the year 2012, humans will undergo a worldwide transformation. Some people predict that the Earth will collide with a black hole or a planet named Nibiru. But probably the most popular belief is the interpretation of the Mayan calendar, suggesting that the world will end on December 21st, 2012. In the past, many have predicted that the world was going to end. In 1992, Harold Camping predicted that sometime in mid-September 1994, Christ would return and the world would end. When the world did not end, he predicted March 31st, 1995. There was also Y2K, the end of the world at the start of the new millennium. Analysts speculated that the entire computer networks would crash, causing widespread dysfunction for the global population that depends on computers. Is our world going to collide with Nibiru? Will it end this Friday? Or are these just more failed end-of-the-world predictions? Only time will tell if we will be here to witness 2013.